Hey, I'm Brittany, or more commonly known in the gaming community as NoisyArcades. Welcome to my first podcast. This episode is probably going to make a few people mad. It's pretty controversial, and if my streaming ever goes even a little viral, I'm probably going to get some heat. But hey, if you're still planning on listening in after that, just keep in mind that I'm basing this podcast on scholarly, peer-reviewed articles and personal experience. So basically, the studies back it. Without further ado, welcome to my podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be covering gaming, mostly online and mostly women. There's an estimated 1.8 billion gamers in the world, almost 25% of the population. The average age of a gamer is 36 years old, and has basically been the same since 2009. Women make up 42% of all gamers in the United States alone. So you may ask what sparked my interest to do this podcast. I'm a female gamer, I needed an interesting topic for a school project, I had a prof recently tell me I could be myself in my work, and I was presented with a neat opportunity. Twitch opened a grant opportunity called Broadcast Her to help support female gamers in university with funding if they choose to stream. They did this to help close the gap that exists between male streamers and female streamers and the money that they make. A few friends tagged me in the video to check out the opportunity, and this is what I found in the comment section. Pay gap, that's a joke. I can give you a guarantee, girls earn more money than men in live streaming because they're streaming half naked. These are desperate people out there donating for that. Female Twitch streamers have it so easy, they just wear a low-cut shirt, and oops, I leaned over too far and I didn't know my ass was hanging out. Then views start rolling in and Twitch turns the other way. Beyond stupid, female gamers get more attention than the male ones. Let's be honest here, there are more guy gamers than female ones, so when a female plays, everyone wants to see. The female doesn't even have to be good. Females have to work less than men when it comes to streaming and gaming for views, so why are they getting this? Unlike what the comments are saying, this is a needed service. All Twitch is trying to do here is up their numbers for women participating in streaming. Less than 40% of their users and none of their top 10 streamers are women. However, none of this is new. As a woman, the online gaming world has always been hard to get into and deal with once there. Even though we make up almost 50% of the gaming population, the world of online gaming is still very much a man's world. Some of the leading games streamed on Twitch are League of Legends, PUBG, Dota, Hearthstone, and later followed by Overwatch. There's quite a preference for Blizzard games, first-person shooters, and games that overall usually require a mic to communicate with your team. While looking for sources to supplement this podcast with, I came across one on the representations of female characters in video games, WoW in particular. While this is an extremely important topic, it deserves its own episode, so I scanned the article with every intention of just storing it, and then I came across this line. This topic on women's suffrage is currently a huge trend, and that's fine, but not in our video games. And that's it, right there, that's the ideal of video games. Ours. In the context of the paragraph in which it appears, it is very obvious that the speaker is saying his games, men, and that's a huge part of the problem. You see, as a female gamer, it's something I face every time I play with a new set of people. Time for a story. Staying home from work with strep throat, one day a few years ago, I decided to play some Elder Scrolls Online on my PS4. I finally picked up a mic because my friends wanted to be able to coordinate plays. So I jumped into a game and found a group I didn't know doing a daily dungeon that I wanted in on. I opted out of using my mic because of my throat. After a while, they messaged me asking me to hop on so that we could coordinate better. I apologized for my rough voice right away, letting them know about my illness, and then we played. After a while of great coordination and leading the group because I had been in that dungeon before, I noticed they'd been calling me dude, man, and bro. When I told them nonchalantly that I was actually a girl, they laughed and saying they thought that I was a 12-year-old boy home from school. And that was it. I was no longer the leader of the group. What I said or instructed as directions was disregarded and I promptly left after the match, just because I was frustrated that we were now losing. The girl thing was normal and I faced it every time I went on mic. Fast forward to about 4 months ago, I noticed Rust and Open World Survival on PC has had some updates, so I bought it and started to play. Rust is a rough game. You start as a naked, a person matching your Steam identity sex without clothing or resources, and you run around the extremely large map in search of success with nothing but a rock. In this game, when playing on the 300-person map, you expect to be killed by other characters before getting far enough to even make clothing. Honestly, it adds to the fun, adding a stealth aspect and lots of pride when you manage to build a stronghold. But after 3 days of being a naked female, I finally cracked. I was running along the beach in the game in search of some stone when I saw another player. Nothing new. I didn't have much on me and no clothing, so I was fine with the rock fight that I thought we would have. But this time, he noticed I was a woman. The things he said I can't and won't repeat on YouTube without fear of being shut down. It was disgusting enough to make me quit. I left the game. I uninstalled the game, and I cried. I wasn't on headset and I had my mic turned off, so his voice rang through my apartment through my speakers. I can still hear the nasty, vile things that he said, unprovoked, today. The worst part is, I'm not alone. Verbal, sexual harassment, racism, and sexism run rampant on online games. I quickly ran into a story about another woman playing another online game in a journal article. Much like me, she avoided using mic as much as she could, but after a few failed attempts at her raid, her crew leader asked for everyone to be mic'd. She plugged in and verbally apologized for misinterpreting his instructions leading to their loss, and then he realizes she's a woman. He starts with a regular, "You're a girl, of course you suck, this is why we're losing," and then she apologizes again out of habit, and that's when he notices she's black. A quote from her: "The insults continue with a barrage of colorful, stereotypical comments aimed at me as an African American woman. Wait, you're not just any girl, you're black. Get this black bitch off my team. Did you spend all of your welfare check buying this game? Get back to your crack pipe with your crack babies." And just like me, she's used to it. While not every woman who plays an online video game will face such extreme forms of harassment, most are treated by male players as general nuisances and will experience varying degrees of negativity. It extends past playing the game for many women. When at video game expos or conventions, we are often touched or photographed without our permission, and can experience sorts of assault and verbal abuse if we are not portraying the character that we are dressed up as in a way that onlooking men deem acceptable. But we still want to play games. They're fun, they relieve stress, and they give us an outlet, a place to escape reality, and a chance to make money. Therefore, many of us come up with coping strategies and ways to avoid the harassment altogether. One method is choosing a username that is unisex, like mine, NoisyArcades. It alleviates any assumptions of gender, allowing for a smoother gameplay. Some of the articles I have been reading point to this as the main way women choose to cope. For so many women, avoiding strangers is how we deal, myself included. Because of what happened in Russ, I refused to use a mic if a stranger may learn my sex. Even making this was hard. I spent a solid 20 minutes staring at the record button before I could record my intro. When I play online games now, it's with my team. Thankfully, a culturally, racially, and gender diverse group. Some of us use our experience or in-game excellence to put down harassers. We come back and try even harder the next round to win. Or we point them in the direction of our top scores and streams. Unfortunately, in the end, a lot of women decide that online gaming or live gaming isn't for them anymore. They can't handle it, and they shouldn't have to handle the harassment. To some, it's easier to just play offline single-player games. That way you play by yourself, or even a text-based game, where your sex can remain hidden. All of this harassment excludes women from many parts that make online gaming so unique and great. It prevents many of us from pursuing a career as a gamer, and can prevent us from being taken seriously when we try to get sponsors. So why are online games so toxic if you're not a white male? According to a few studies, many of the high-risk factors that correlate harassment in workplaces are the same as those in gaming. Games are often male-dominated, even though nearly half the players are women. They remain hidden. Many popular games prize traditionally masculine qualities like toughness, aggression, and competitiveness. A woman's presence can be interpreted as potentially threatening to a masculine status quo. Toxic masculinity is at large in the gaming community. Newer research has shown that gender and sexual harassment are actually directed towards individuals who violate gender norms. The anonymity of players and the overall prevalence of trash talk in gaming adds to the risk. And emotions tend to run high, which often means that players become more aggressive and offensive towards others. But it's not just happening to women. Young children are also victims. They face some pretty extreme bullying from adults in online games. When they make a bad play or they get taken out in PUBG, the adults playing with them lose it. Even more so when the kid wins. On top of this, it's a cycle. The children see and hear what's happening while they play, and they start to think it's normal, so they attack the next person. When this is over, just take a few minutes and YouTube Kid Rages Playing PUBG and you'll quickly understand what I mean. Abuse towards women gamers isn't new. For example, the notorious Gamergate originally started in 2012 when Anita Sarkeesian became the target of online harassment after releasing a series of videos about video games from a feminist perspective. It arose again in 2014 after Zoe Quinn released a game about depression and broke up with her boyfriend, who then started a hate campaign against her. They were threatened with rape, murder, told to commit suicide, were doxxed and had their personal information leaked to thousands, and that includes their families' addresses and phone numbers. This is just another reason why posting this podcast is ever so slightly scary. We want to be accepted into the gaming world, not just tolerated. It is a forever-going entertainment medium and more. Studies show the strong social connection and relationships that are built through these online gaming connections. I mean, the best man at my wedding was a friend made through Conquer, an old online game. My husband had only ever seen him twice before the wedding in person, but they had been best friends for over 9 years. Like anything else, we just want our fair share. Let us play. That's a wrap on episode 1 of Welcome to my podcast. There's a Google Drive link with a list of my references in the description box below. Thanks for tuning in!